So hey everybody, welcome in. My name is Heather, and I'm really excited to have you guys all here on the adventure of recording a yoga class today. I wanted to have a class that really showcased some of the vibrancy and wonderful people who practice yoga in Bellingham, rather than it just being me talking to no one. And I so appreciate you guys all being willing to come with me on that adventure. So we're going to get started today in a comfortable seat. My favorite way to get comfy is to sit up on my block, but also if that means with your legs extended, whatever that looks like for you. And we'll just take a moment to get acquainted with the space. So letting your eyes wander around the room, noticing different colors you might see, maybe giving a smile to whoever has landed next to you today on this beautiful Sunday morning. Knowing that at any point you can get on up off your mat if you want to get a different prop or run out and use the bathroom. You're totally not stuck. And then taking a moment to bring the attention inward, and just as we scanned the room, scanning how your body is feeling. Noticing any areas that are feeling strong today, any areas that we maybe need to focus a little nourishing attention on. Maybe they're feeling a little cranky this morning. Getting acquainted with how your body's doing inside. And recognizing in this moment of being in your body that you are your own best teacher. You're the expert here. So anything that I offer is just a suggestion. Even if you just sit here and take deep breaths and scan through your body, you're having an awesome yoga practice and you don't need to do anything more than this. So everything I offer is just a suggestion. Feel free to modify it however is best for you. And I'll give lots of options for different ways to make poses feel really good today, okay? Perfect. So then we're gonna come to hands and knees. And if your wrists are feeling a little tender this morning, feel free to roll the mat under. You could also pad the knees with the mat or with a blanket. We'll start with a series of movements called cat-cow. Exhaling, looking at your knees, heart rises. Inhaling to drop the belly and look up towards the ceiling. Exhaling for cat, arching the back. Inhaling for cow to drop the belly. So the human brain loves patterns, and that's part of the reason we talk about inhaling and exhaling for different movements. That can be really soothing to the mind here at the end of a long week, helping to anchor yourself in your body in this moment. Option here if you'd like to tap into your shoulders a bit more to do cat-cow on your forearms. You'll get a little bit less mobility through the whole back, but it can unlock some really nice sensation in the shoulder blades and upper back. So if that's an area you'd like to work on today, option to go there or stay with the hands planted under the shoulders. And then taking a moment here to decide if cat or cow is really your jam today. Which one's feeling a little bit more beneficial this Sunday? So maybe doing a couple more, feeling into if your back is really loving one over the other. And then we'll hold for a few breaths in whichever one your fave is. Maybe deepening that arch just a smidge more now that you've got a moment to linger. And then we'll find our neutral spine. If you were down on your forearms, bring your hands back under your shoulders. Inhale to lift up right arm and left leg, reaching them away from each other long through the spine. You can stay right here, or if you would prefer some movement, exhale, elbow in towards the knee. Inhaling to expand, exhaling to contract, taking a pause anytime you need, making that movement nice and slow as you warm up your back and your core. Once again, linking that breath to movement. And pausing with arm and leg extended. A little test of the balance here. Take your right arm out to your right. If that's enough, stay there, or you can get left leg involved, pulling it out to the left side of your mat for sunbird. Reach hand and foot up nice and high. And come back to center, fingers and toes stretch away from each other. Bring your right hand back under your shoulder. Tuck those left toes under, rocking your weight back and forth into that left foot, stretching your foot and the long line of that left leg. Once you find the perfect amount of pressure for your foot today, hang out there for a moment, letting all those muscles open up. Take your left foot behind your right. We'll lift up the left arm for a supported side plank. If you would like to take this to a side body stretch, consider bringing that left arm up by your ear, making a rainbow shape. If you'd like a little bit more balance practice here, you can consider lifting left leg for a supported half moon. And left hand comes back down to the mat, coming back to our tabletop. Lift up left leg, bend left knee, and take that left knee out to the left side of your mat. Start to draw some circles with left kneecap. They might be big or small, fast or slow, waking up that full range of motion in the hip that we so seldom use in day-to-day life. Taking it nice and slow through any areas that feel tender this morning. Acknowledging this is a motion we don't often do, so it might feel a little tricky. Go ahead and reverse that circle, noticing if you feel any different muscle groups working when you do that. And stretch that left leg out nice and long behind you. Bring the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. That might be enough back bend. If you're looking for a little more, you can raise up your right hand, maybe even reaching for that foot. Might not touch today, but just the reaching is a really nice way to open up through the chest and the back. Totally normal to feel wobbly here. And release back to your tabletop. From here, leaving your legs exactly as they are, walk your hands out away from you. Chest is coming down towards the mat. You can put a block under your head if the mat is feeling far away. Rest either your chin or your forehead on that mat or block. Totally your call about which is feeling better. Puppy pose. Next, inhale, see if you can puff up the area between your shoulder blades with your breath. Noticing how three-dimensional that breathing is when you really zero in on it. Walk your hands back under your shoulders. And we'll lift up left arm and right leg, reaching fingertips and toes away from each other. You can stay right here, or if you'd like some movement, exhale, elbow towards the knee. They don't have to touch, just reaching in. And out on the inhale, crunching in on the exhale, waking up that core and the back body for our flow. Remembering you can pause at any time and choose to take this in a more stationary way. You're the expert on what body needs this morning. Pausing with arm and leg extended. Little balance play. Left arm comes out to the left. Stay right there. Or right leg can come out to the right as well for sunbird. Can you lift up hand and foot just a smidge? And let them come back to center. Fingertips and toes reach away from each other. Left hand comes down. Tuck your right toes under, rocking the weight back and forth into the right foot, saying hello to that calf muscle and all the muscles in the foot and leg. Once you found the sweet spot for your stretch, hang out there for a couple breaths, feeling all those foot and leg muscles elongate. And then we'll take right foot behind the left, opening up into side plank. If your wrist is feeling tender, you can put a block under the arm and do this on forearm. Once again, if you'd like a side body stretch, you can bring right arm up over right ear. And if you'd like a little extra balance practice, consider hovering that right leg. Supported half moon. One more nice deep inhale and exhale. And right hand and the knee come back down to tabletop. We're going to pick up right leg and bend the right knee, bringing it out to the right side. If wrists would like to have a little break, you can do this on your forearms. And drawing circles with that right kneecap, waking up the right hip, same way we did on the left side. One of my teachers likes to call this an oil change for the hips, just moving everything around and getting some fresh blood in there. Go ahead and reverse the direction of that circle, noticing if that lights up any different muscle groups or different areas of tension for you to smooth out. And stretch that right leg out long behind you, returning to your tabletop. Bring the sole of the right foot up towards the ceiling. This might be enough back bend. If you want more, consider lifting that left arm, maybe even reaching for those right toes. And release back to your tabletop, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going to take a moment for our wrists here, turning those left fingertips around towards your knee. Knee closer to fingers is less stretch, further away is more, but giving them a nice stretch out after we did all that work on hands and knees. Rooting down through all 5 fingers of that left hand. And turn left fingers back to the top of your mat. We'll do the other side, spinning those right fingertips around towards the knee. Walk your knees closer or further away to find your perfect amount of wrist stretch this morning. Feeling the blood flowing through the wrist into all the fingers of the hand. And turn those right fingertips back around. Pick up all 10 fingers, spreading them out, and then plug them back down into the mat, pressing into each fingertip. Tuck your toes under, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. More weight in the feet than in the hands, letting your strong core and strong leg muscles do more work than your wrists. Maybe pedaling out the legs if that would feel good. Any wiggles you like to get out in your down dog. Walk your hands and feet together, coming into a forward fold. To really get a nice low back stretch here, consider bending your knees and bringing your torso to your thighs. That'll really target the low back in this stretch. Letting the head hang heavy, really zeroing in your attention on your neck. Neck is held the head up through whatever this week has brought. What could we do here to make neck feel really good? Is it a nod yes or a shake no? Maybe bringing the fingers to the neck and giving a little massage to any tight areas. Whatever your neck needs in this moment. Roll up to stand, head rises last. Circle sweep the arms up. Palms connect and draw down to the chest. Normal to feel a little dizzy coming out of a forward fold. Nice deep breaths, embracing that feeling if it's there for you. Feeling the inhales and exhales on your fingertips, using all the nerve endings of the hands to connect to the breath. What temperature is your breathing? Can you feel your chest rise under the thumbs when you inhale? From here, we'll take the arms to a cactus or goalpost shape, bringing the weight into the toes, maybe even rising up on the toes if that works for you. Exhaling, twisting to your right, peeking out over that right elbow. On your exhale, can you use the core to get a little more twist? And come back to center. Option to rest the heels down for a moment. Then we'll bring the weight back up into the balls of the feet, maybe rising on the toes, and head left. Peeking out over that back elbow. You get just a smidge more rise in the feet. And come back to center. Drop the heels. We'll circle sweep the arms up. Palms connect and draw down. Diving back into that breath. Peek down at your feet. We want them about hip distance apart and towards the top of your mat. Next time you feel the exhale on your fingertips, lowering the hips down for your chair pose. Can you pull the knees back so you can see more of the tops of your feet? Rise up on your right toes. Sweep right leg back for warrior one. If you feel wobbly, take more space between the feet. Bring your hands to your hips, making sure your hip points are in one line. So maybe you need to narrow or widen your stance to get there. Then we'll raise up the arms, cactus shape, or you can bring them straight up towards the ceiling, whatever your shoulders prefer today. Lift up all 10 toes, spread them out, and plug them back into the mat. Hands come to shoulder caps, drawing some circles with the elbows, waking up the shoulder girdle the same way we did the hips. Moving as fast or as slow suits your shoulders today, taking care with any areas that feel sticky or tense. Smoothing it out. Remembering you can straighten the leg and take a break at any time. Pausing those circles, bring your hands to your low back. There you can hook your thumbs, interlace your fingers, or grab on to opposite wrists, or even a blanket or a sweatshirt. Once you've found what grasp feels comfortable, inhale, lift the hands any amount off your back. If you want more shoulder stretch than that, consider bowing in over your front leg. Letting gravity help you find the right amount of stretch for your shoulders. Nice deep inhale, like in puppy pose. Can you puff up the area between the shoulder blades? Release your hands to the mat or a block. Straighten your left leg without locking the knee for pyramid pose. Once again, we want the hips in one line. That'll help you get the best stretch. Option to stay bowed in over the left leg, or if you'd like a little more core fire from this pose, option to hover the arms parallel to the floor. Choosing what feels right today in your pyramid pose. If your hands are raised, go ahead and bring them back down to mat or blocks. Bend your left knee, framing that left foot with your hands. Rise up on your right toes. Option to stay right here in crescent lunge, or option to lift up your right toes to practice your standing splits. Either option, think about keeping those hips in one line, just like in Warrior One. Either option, we will meet in a forward fold, bringing right foot up beside the left, bowing in over the legs. Option to take forward fold exactly as we did before, or if you'd like something a little different, consider bending the knees, grabbing onto your big toes with your peace sign fingers, using that grip to pull the two halves of your body together, and then millimeter by millimeter, straightening the legs. Any other option of forward fold that feels good here would work as well. Rolling up to stand, head rises last. Circle sweep the arms up. Palms connect and draw down to the chest. Using all those nerve endings in your hands to check in with the breath and bring the mind back from wherever it might have wandered off to. Take a peek down at your feet. Let's get them hip distance apart and towards the top of the mat. Next, exhale, lower for your chair pose. Weight in the heels. Rise up on your left toes. Sweep that left leg back for Warrior One. Lots of space so you don't feel wobbly. Hands come to the hips and we're going to check that alignment once again. Hips in one line. Cactus the arms or bring them straight on up. Remembering you can straighten the leg and take a break at any time. Hands come to the shoulder caps making your elbow circles the opposite direction this time. So I'm headed backwards. Massaging out those shoulders and using their full amazing range of motion. Bring your hands to your low back. Once again, finding the grip that suits you. Inhaling to lift the hands any amount off the back. If your shoulders want more stretch, you can use gravity by bowing in to give them a little bit more stretch. Nice deep inhale, sending it to that area between your shoulder blades. Release your hands to the mat or a block, straightening that right leg without locking the knee. So a micro bend in the knee for pyramid pose. Keeping those hips in one line. You can choose to stay bowed in over right leg, or again to find that extra core work by lifting the arms parallel to the floor. Choosing what's going to serve you best here. Wherever you're at, bending right knee and framing that right foot with your hands, maybe bringing them to blocks. Rise up on your left toes, hanging out here in crescent lunge, or if you'd like the opportunity to practice standing split, you can lift up that left leg any amount. Keeping those hips in one line in either the lunge or the standing posture. And wherever you're at, we'll meet in a forward fold, left foot beside right. Option to take your favorite variation. Maybe that's bent legs, torso to thighs. Maybe that's grabbing for the toes. Maybe that's grabbing onto opposite elbows for ragdoll. Letting the full weight of your head pull towards the floor, stretching out your neck and your wonderful spine that does so much for you. Roll up to stand, head rises last. Circle, sweep the arms up. Palms connect and draw down. Feeling the thumbs rise and fall. From here, we're going to raise the arms straight up overhead Exhaling, sweep back to your chair. Inhale them up. Exhale, swoosh them down. The louder your exhale, the more fun it is. Two more, nice big ones. And bring the palms to chest. Feeling the difference in the heart rate and breathing. And also feeling how quickly body can calm itself down. How those breaths start to lengthen. How heartbeat starts to slow. How amazing that is. After doing so much work, body knows just how to chill out. We're going to turn to face this wall. I'm going to bring my block with me. Take about 3 feet between your feet. Turn your right toes towards the plants. And we're going to bend this right knee to find your warrior 2. So maybe hands on hips, bending and straightening that right knee a few times. So we're finding a new place for our warrior 2, not just go into that same place we always do. And once you think you've found a nice spot for today, hands rise out over the feet. Some shoulder work here. Draw the tops of your shoulder blades together, just the tops, and release. Now try the middle of your shoulder blades, pulling just those together on the back. And release. Bend your elbows, making a W shape with the arms. Pull the bottoms of the shoulder blades together. And release, hands come out over the feet. Pulling all 3 points of the shoulder blades together and down, creating space for the neck in your warrior 2. Remembering you can straighten the leg and take a rest at any time. You're the expert. And straighten that right leg. Reach right hand towards the front of the room. Stay right here in half triangle. Or if you like the full version, you can bring right hand down to your shin. Or maybe the block. If you'd like your triangle pose to include a neck stretch, you can bring your left hand to your low back and let right ear loll towards right shoulder. Lengthening that left part of neck and shoulder. Wherever your triangle pose is at, bring the pit of your belly in and up, engaging the core, moving from that place of power. Stack your shoulders over your hips. Turn your toes to face the opposite sides of the room. No worries. Then we're going to bend the knees for goddess pose. Might just be a slight bend today, finding the right spot for you. Thinking knees pulling towards the pinky toe edge of your feet. You can straighten up and take a break at any time. You can either use the arms to help balance any way that works for you, or you can use them for a little breathing exercise, which I'll demonstrate. So bringing the forearms together, inhaling them open, exhaling, pressing all the old air out. Inhaling to open, exhaling to press it out. So doing those with your own breath pace. We'll all have a slightly different rhythm. And you can do it with straight legs as well if you're over goddess pose today. And go ahead and straighten up. This time we'll take the left toes towards the back of the room, right toes point towards me. Hands come to the hips as we take a bounce in and out of that warrior two shape on the left side. Searching for the spot that's going to serve you best today. Once you've found it, bring your hands up over the feet. Once again, we're going to strengthen those back body and shoulders, pulling the tops of the shoulder blades together and release. Middle of the shoulder blades together and release. W shape with the arms, pulling those bottom tips of the shoulder blades together and release. Pulling the entire shoulder blade together and down. Expansion through the chest and lots of room for the neck. Straighten your left leg, keeping a micro bend in that left knee. Extend left arm towards the back of the room, staying right there for half triangle. Or if you'd like to play with the full expression, hand can come to shin, maybe the foot, maybe a block. Trying to stack one arm on top of the other. If you'd like to bring a neck stretch into your triangle pose, you can bring right hand to the low back and let left ear fall towards left shoulder. Engaging the core and using those muscles to bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Turn all 10 toes to face me. Bring your hands to your hips. Come halfway down, parallel to the floor, pulling hips and head away from each other. And release the head towards the floor, wide-legged forward fold. Once again, using the weight of the head to elongate the spine. Might feel some leg stretch too. Option here, if you like a bit of movement in your stretch, to bend one knee and then the other. Rocking the weight from side to side, and the depth of that bend is totally up to you, whatever's feeling right today. And if you're rocking from side to side, pausing that motion, bring your hands to your hips once more. We'll rise halfway up, long through the spine. If you'd like a little extra core fire here, you can extend the arms out in front of you. And then we'll rise all the way up, shoulders stack over the hips. Beautiful job. Everybody can turn to face the front of the room once more. We'll circle sweep the arms up. Palms connect and draw down to the chest. Letting that breath on the hands focus the mind. Balancing pose today is eagle. Cactus your arms. Identify your right hand. It's going to go under your left. You can grab opposite shoulders, or you can wrap your hands around. So there's the arms. Next part is to bend the knees, headed for a chair pose shape. Rise up on the right toes. That might be enough today. If you want to work on that balance, pick up the right leg, take it over the left. Working that balance in your foot. Being kind and patient with yourself can be the real struggle. If you'd like a little extra challenge, consider bringing elbows and knees together for sleeping eagle. And sleeping eagles rise, unfurl the arms and bring both feet back to the mat. Take a moment for that left ankle. Maybe rolling it out, stretching it in any way that feels good. Massive strengthener for the muscles and bones of your feet to stand on one side. And then we'll cactus the arms once more. This time identify left hand. It's going under the right. Grab your shoulders or wrap your arms. Lower your hips. Rise up on those left toes. If you're feeling wobbly, maybe stay right here. Or you can pick up left leg, trying to wrap it around the right. Might be easier or harder on this side. Bodies are so wonderfully asymmetrical. If you're feeling steady and looking for more challenge, you can consider bringing elbows and knees together for sleeping eagle. Sleeping eagles rise, and we'll all unwrap, taking a moment for that right foot who just got so strong. And then once the right foot is feeling stretched out, we'll all meet on our backs. Taking your feet about mat distance apart. Let your knees windshield wiper from side to side. They might not go all the way to the ground. That's perfectly fine. And then pause with the knees pointed up at the ceiling. Pick up your right foot. Bring right ankle to the top of left thigh. You'll end up with a figure 4 shape in the legs. If you want more hip stretch, draw that shin closer to your torso, supporting with the hands. Nice deep inhale. Deep breaths let our bodies know it's time to rest and digest, that it's safe for hip to stretch open. You've got nothing else going on, nowhere to go. Bringing the attention to where in the body you feel the stretch most. It'll be different for every person, but building that mind-body awareness by searching for the epicenter of your stretch. If left foot is raised, bring it back to the mat. Grab on either to your left toes or to that left shin, right toes or right shin. And then we're gonna bring that out to the right side of the mat for half happy baby. Using the plant of that left foot or left leg to really support you as you grab on to right shin or right toes, further opening up right hip. Grabbing on behind right knee can also be a good option. Zeroing in on if this stretches the hip in a different place. What muscles lengthen here? Bring right ankle back to the top of left thigh. Spread your arms out in a capital letter T shape. Leaving the legs as they are, let them fall to your left for a twist. If you prefer a different variation of spinal twist, don't be shy, go there instead. Letting the parts of your body in contact with the floor feel really heavy. Bring the legs back to center. Right foot comes down beside the left. Taking another moment to windshield wiper those legs from side to side, rocking low back on the mat. Next time knees are pointed towards the ceiling, left ankle finds that top of right thigh. Flexing the left foot to protect your knee. If you want more hip stretch, simply bring left shin closer to the torso, finding the right amount of stretch for you. Pinpointing if maybe this hip feels the stretch differently than the right. Where's the origin of the stretch here? If right foot is raised, bring it back down to the mat. You're going to grab onto that left foot or shin, or maybe behind left knee, supporting left leg as it swings out to your left for half happy baby. Drawing that left knee towards left armpit. Is this stretch coming from a different place? Can you feel what parts of your leg are elongating? Bring left ankle back to the top of right thigh. Spread your arms out in a T shape. Legs fall to the right. If you prefer a different variation with the legs, please go there, customizing the practice for yourself. Bring your legs back to center and either lie out on your mat or take a comfortable seat for final relaxation. Moment to lie still and absorb the benefits of the practice. If you think about the body like a snow globe, and during the yoga practice we strengthen and stretch and shake it all up, this is the moment where the snow settles back down before we end class. For those of you following along at home, please take as long as you would like here in your final resting pose. And thank you so much for practicing with me today.